If you pardon a very bad pun, it's been quite a while since I've done CC, Chris from New York, Westchester County, for quite some time. But when I saw his video about spacesuits, I just felt I had to make a video.
Bring it back.
Hi, Chuck here. Just a little post-edit note that this video is nearly 16 minutes long. I apologise for that, but there's a lot of research involved. And you will notice that the surrounding light changes from sort of light to dark. That's because it's taken 2 days to record this video. I hope you can watch it. Thank you very much for joining me. G'day, hello and welcome back to Chuck Chase the Facts, where we look at strange things on the internet and YouTube. First of all, he's back. No, not him. No, not him. This guy. Dr. Haagen-Dazs has returned from his sabbatical, and his first video will be coming out in around about a week's time. But in the meantime, it appears that CC, Chris from New York, Westchester County, doesn't like to do or fails to do his own research. So we're going to have to do that for him. Now, I warn you in advance, this video is going to be a lot of me talking a lot of facts. If you like facts, stick around. If you don't, hit the thumbs up button, close the video and carry on with the rest of your day. It seems that Chris does not understand spacesuits. So, as usual, I've done some research, but in the meantime, let's see what Chris has to say.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's 10/7/22, and it's a Friday. And I like to give you something to think about on Fridays. Over the weekend, just in case if I'm unable to put a weekend video out. However, now that we're entering winter, and we're entering that clear, crisp air, I can now utilize my P1000.
Ah, yes. The famous, or should I say infamous, P1000. The favourite tool of every flat earther that thinks they can prove that the earth is flat using a P1000.
And I'll be doing some terrace talk at some point too. I have some things coming up in my life, some changes. Nothing to do with relationship, guys. You know, you're always nudging me about that. No. This is career wise.
Ah, yes. How is Mrs. CC after this incident?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Well, same day, same time. This is not to scale, of course. When I grew up, the solar system was stationary.
All right, honey, come on.
The sun was standing.
Why don't you stop this bullshit?
Idiot.
Shouldn't you give me like 5 minutes?
No, you've had all morning, and and I'm just freezing and I'm hungry and it's time to start cleaning the house.
SpaceX. You know, I love SpaceX because SpaceX is a spoof off of NASA. You know, I mean, they all work together. Don't you understand that? Don't you seem to understand that NASA is the umbrella to every space agency out there?
That's 100% a lie.
I couldn't have said that better myself. NASA is a government-owned agency, whereas Blue Origin, SpaceX, Virgin Galactic, Lockheed Martin and Boeing are all privately owned and operated companies.
You cannot launch anything into space, what people think space is, when it's really nothing. We're covered with a dome.
Oh, not this again.
But you can't launch anything, high altitude, anything, until you get permission from NASA or the government, which is owned by NASA. Everything is.
Firstly, that's such a stupid comment. NASA is one of many agencies that the United States government have created over the years. And secondly, you do not need permission from NASA to launch anything into space from Earth. You do need permission, however. For example, if you were launching anything from any US territory, then you would need permission from the FAA. Other countries, such as, I don't know, Russia, China, Great Britain, they would need permission from the equivalent in their country of the United States FAA. Why? Because 91 countries signed a treaty. No, not that treaty. It was the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, and it was so that governments could oversee space exploration by private companies and government-owned agencies.
NASA's just another, how should we put it? It's just there to continue the fakeness of space. Okay, they're there to make you still think that you live on a spinning wet ball, and that there's space and there are planets and there's universes, and I mean other universes out there, and hey, maybe there are. Who knows? That could be very well be.
There are other universes out there. When the Big Bang occurred some 13.5 billion years ago, within a split second of the Big Bang, quantum fluctuations occurred, causing separate bubble universes into existence. Each one then started inflating on itself, creating more bubbles.
You know, I mean, we have more land, and we have extraterrestrials. Remember, guys, there are aliens, but they're not from where you think they're from. You see, when there's more land outside of our area, that's called extra land, extraterrestrials. It's a simple concept.
It's only a concept in your mind, and makes absolutely no logical sense.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
So SpaceX, okay? Boy, you gotta love those spacesuits. You really do, don't you? I mean, apparently, those are supposed to be airtight, okay? It looks like a pair of freaking jumpsuits that you go to the goddamn freaking nightclub with. You know what I'm saying?
Because you're an idiot.
Oh yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm talking about? If you think those things are freaking airtight, you must be freaking kidding me. If you think that helmet is airtight, you must be freaking kidding me. If you think that jacket that's over the pants and you think that's airtight, you must be freaking kidding me. You are tripping if you think that thing can go into space, float around, and keep yourself protected. You're tripping. There's something the matter with you.
The space suit is just used for flight, i.e. takeoff and landing. It is not designed for spacewalks. The suit was explained by someone in your comments section from this video, by someone called Nate, and if Nate doesn't mind, I'm going to share his comment with the rest of the class. The jacket is fully attached to the suit. The fact it looks like a jacket doesn't make it one. It was probably designed to look unique and cool. Not sure if there is any practical purpose to this design, but SpaceX designs consider aesthetics and not just pure functionality. As far as spacesuits in general goes, no, they aren't perfectly airtight. They allow them to leak up to 100 milliliters of air per minute. This isn't a problem if you are constantly releasing oxygen into the suits to maintain about 1/3 atmospheric pressure of pure oxygen. They only need to make sure they are releasing oxygen into the suit at the same rate as it is being leaked to maintain pressure. Thank you, Nate.
Brainwashed!
'Cause the pot keep calling the kettle black.
Okay. You see, now this is another thing too. You see, people say that SpaceX is in space. Okay, well, if it's in space, then why don't they have an astronaut suit on? Okay? Did Elon somehow or another magically come up with this spacesuit that is so airtight that it keeps out everything in zero gravity? Nothing at all? Are there any machines on the back of it? What exactly do those machines do?
I have here Chris Trigg, who is SpaceX Spacesuits and Crew Equipment Manager, to explain exactly about the SpaceX suits.
I think one of the things that was important in the development of the suit was to make it easy to use, something that the crew just has to literally plug in when they sit down, and then the suit kind of takes care of itself from there. So the suit is really kind of one part of the bigger Dragon system. It's really part of the vehicle. So we think of it as kind of a suit seat system. So the seat that the crew is in and the suit are in a lot of ways working together. And so it made sense that we were designing Dragon in-house to also design the suit.
Our spacesuits is completely designed in-house. It's built here in Hawthorne, California, in the same building as the rocket and the capsule. The spacesuit is custom made for each crew member, and that is to optimize the fit for the crew member.
We definitely wanted to innovate, and we wanted it to look inspiring, but first and foremost, we wanted it to be safe and reliable. The spacesuit's primary purpose is to protect the crew in the unlikely event that the cabin were to depressurize. But the suit does a number of additional things. It provides cooling and communication to the crew inside of the suit, it provides them hearing protection, and the outer layer of the suit is flame resistant, so it provides flame protection as well. When the crew gets in the capsule, they get in their seats and they plug the suit into the umbilical that's attached to the seat. And the umbilical is providing everything that the suit needs. So it provides the avionics or electronics for communications, it's providing the air to cool the suit, and then it also provides gas when needed to pressurize the suit. So it's really a single point that lets the suit do all the things that it needs to do. We designed the helmet in-house. The helmet serves a number of different functions. Obviously, it's protecting the crew's head and it's retaining gas like the rest of the suit, but it also houses the microphones as well as the valves that are regulating pressure in the suit. We had to design the gloves so that they would work with the touchscreens, but the gloves also still had to do a number of other things like the rest of the suit, so all of those things had to come together within the glove. It'll be obviously really amazing to see Bob and Doug in their flight suits, and I think one of the things that's cool about the suit is it's not just a piece of hardware, it's not just a suit, it's a very personal thing. It's Bob's suit and it's Doug's suit. And so seeing the two of them in their suits, using it in flight will be just a really amazing thing.
No, they're just hopping around. It's because they're not going into space, you idiots. They're going all the way up there, which is 73, maybe 83 miles, I don't know, 120 miles, but that's not space.
In the early 1900s, Hungarian physicist Theodor von Karman determined that the boundary of outer space was at 50 miles, or 80 kilometers. However, the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale has determined that the boundary to outer space, or the Karman line as it is better known, is at 62 miles, or 100 kilometers. However, in order to obtain your astronaut wings, you have to travel at 76 miles or 122 kilometers.
Sure, you have weightlessness up there, and you have that on the vomit plane too. Okay, you see, this is such bullshit. It's so elementary, below 101, that if you can't see that is not a spacesuit, that is a jumpsuit. And everybody has been telling us flat earthers that they're going into space. Well, if they are really going into space, then why the f*** are they wearing a jumpsuit? Okay? Prove to me that works.
No one has to prove anything to you, Chris. Just for once, do your own research. And that's where his rant about spacesuits ends. He then goes on to talk about the seasons and politics, blah, blah, blah. However, little bonus clip. He did make a very Freudian slip about birds flying south for the winter, considering he's supposed to be a flat earther.
Just as the birds fly down to the south every year. Just like the beautiful hummingbird you just saw on your porch. That's right. He's going to go back to Mexico. He's on his way down there every year at the same time.
Okay, that'll do it for this video. If you did manage to get this far, thank you very much for watching the entire video. Thank you for watching. Much, much appreciated. If you did like it, if you could click the little thumbs up icon, that would be very, very much appreciated. And somewhere down here in the corner is an icon. If it is your first time here, this will help you to subscribe. Click the little bell for notifications of further videos. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Good day.